So, good morning and welcome to the Peterfield Golf Shop, home of the snowy weather and the short game facility here at the Family Golf Centre. You've got Alex Beckett, Rob Wilkinson here today to talk to you about
wedges. So we're going to give you a bit of a helping hand this time of year when you've got really muddy ground, wet ground, and something that happens is a lot of people hit their shots, get a muddy wedge, don't clean their grooves, and it can massively affect spin. So we're going to do a little test for you. We've got two wedges, both Mizuno, both 56 degrees, one with a very dirty club face, one with a very clean club face. We're going to show you some numbers with TrackMan, what it can do to spin.
So we have just dragged this one through a puddle and a little bit of mud, and you'll find that, yeah, look, I'll give you a bit of a close-up on, that's fairly common for some of the wedges that we see our lessons turn up with, so don't be doing this. So I'm going to hit some pitch shots now. Rob's going to talk to you about what spin rate or what dirty grooves, or what the Molinari brothers found out about dirty grooves, thanks to TrackMan 4. So,
something Titleist say is that the average wedges should last about 72, 75 rounds of golf before they start to wear down. It can really affect spin and affect the rollout of the ball. You'll see Alex is playing his normal type of wedge shot. Alex, how do you play these shots?
For me personally, when I work round the greens and I'm not looking for power, I try to stand a little bit more upright. Okay, so I get the shaft working up. That helps me to work the club up and down the line far easier. Okay? It helps me in terms of where I'm working the bounce. It helps me slide through the turf. What I do is I try and put the ball position just forward of centre. Okay, that helps present the bounce in the path in the arc of my golf swing. And then I shift my weight forward as well. So effectively I'm working an angle down into the ground, but I'm presenting the bounce. I shouldn't ever fat it or thin it, which I've seen somebody doing this morning.
We might have had a little mess around this morning. We've got very cold hands. So we've got some numbers on that one. Are you going to have one more with that one, then we'll switch over?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Pick these off a tree.
So it's not an easy time of year this time of year to play wedge shots. Nice one. Okay, we're going to switch over.
Some people, I think I'll hold it.
If I take this one from you?
Thank you very much. Right,
have this one.
Just to show you, look, clean grooves, nice, fresh. Put that straight through the sink this morning. So, Rob, do we want to change the data on the...
Okay, we'll flick it over on this one.
Now, they reckon you'll get more spin if you catch it off the bottom of the club, not right off the bottom, but only a couple grooves up. This is because, if you take a divot, the grooves are there to disperse dirt. Well, if dirt goes into the grooves because we've taken a divot, well, those grooves are going to be full. So even just coming through and just trying to pick that ball right off the surface, getting that into groove 1 or 2, that ball's going to come out with a little bit more spin than normal, which is pretty good.
All right, now we've got to show it.
Now we've got to prove it, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're going to stick same technique.
Yes, sir. Clean that groove off.
Nice shot.
Clean ball, clean ball. Clean ball has an effect as well. You've got to think, if you've got dirty golf ball, that dirt's going to go into there as well, blocking the grooves from doing what they want to do.
So everything where you're trying to create spin, if you're trying to hit a shot that's into a green and we're trying to get it so it hits and it can even spin back if we're trying to look like the top players on tour, you're trying to create friction. So if you've got a wet golf ball, that's going to reduce friction against club face, but also if you've got mud on the club face or grass or anything covering in those grooves, that's going to reduce friction. So everything clean, everything dry can give you a massive benefit. How many more we've got out?
That should be it.
3 each.
So, do you know how much spin you need to create to generate backspin?
Enlighten me.
It's about 8,000 RPM. So, to be able to generate that, you're talking that you generate about 100 RPM per yard of distance. So, it's very, very difficult inside 80 yards to actually generate backspin at all. So, it's only once you do full shots that we actually can generate backspin, unless we're going to use slopes to our advantage. So, there's my test done. We've done one with clean grooves, one with dirty grooves. I've now got dirty hands. We're going to have a little look at the data and see what the difference is. Put my Beautiful Mizuno wedging down. Now Mizuno are now one of the only Titleist don't forge their wedges. Callaway do 2 types of wedges. Mizuno forge their wedges. Now a forged wedge would more likely to wear out earlier. So what they've done is they've put boron in. Boron's a slightly harder material, so you don't really lose any feel because it's only like 1 part per million. And what that does is it just helps the club face last a little bit longer. So you know that's 75 rounds of golf that we were talking about Titleist saying. Well, that helps Mizuno's wedges last longer, yet they maintain their feel and everything that you want from a wedge.
Clever way of doing it.
Yeah, right. We should have given Rob time to tamper with these data.
So if we have a little peek at these, our first ones where we're hitting some shots that we've got dirty grooves, we've got about 1,500 of spin. So we're going to put some of the numbers up here so you can have a little look. And then as soon as we've gone to clean grooves and we've started to get same sort of strike, we've had one at 3,900 and we've had one at 3,000. So it's...
You got almost double the amount of spin, and that's almost where we were talking earlier, wasn't it? Dirty grooves can reduce spin by up to 50%. Obviously strike has an effect. I can't promise that my ball striking was always going to be the best, but you'll be able to see from the stats that just clean grooves actually does make a good amount of difference, doesn't it, to what's going on. And that's just thanks to TrackMan 4 and its close range radar, the 2 radars that really help work out with it.
So if you're pitching into a green, if you're thinking you're hoping that it is going to check up and you're going to see some sort of stop into the golf ball, cleaner grooves are going to help you with that. Dirty grooves are going to mean it's going to release out, and it can release out into different numbers, like different yardages. Certainly if you're pitching anything from under 80 yards, if you're pitching to 60, if you're pitching to 50, you're trying to get it as close to the green as possible, or close to the pin as possible, should I say, not close to the green. Okay, so thank you for watching this week. If you would like any further tips, or you'd like us to cover anything else in our coaching newsletter, drop us an email at wetalkgolf@peterfieldgolf.co.uk, or you can give us a call on 01603 740 979.